Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. Today, I want to kick things off by reminding you to secure your guns when they're not under your immediate control.
How dare you?
Do you remember that illegal alien escaped murderer who was running around Pennsylvania? Yeah, dude walked into some guy's garage and picked up a rifle which was just leaning in the corner. Thankfully, the homeowner caught him in the act and drew his pistol and fired several rounds, but didn't hit him. He was apprehended later and no one was hurt, but things could have gone very differently. The headline here could have read, "Armed Citizen Ends Largest Manhunt in Recent History." Or it could have read, "Escaped con shoots man with his own rifle." And no, just because I believe you ought to lock up your guns doesn't mean I support safe storage laws either. Just because you should do something doesn't mean we need the state to initiate violence to force people to do it. What do you folks think? Is it smart to leave guns laying around your house? While you consider that, please also consider how it would be literally impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Springfield Armory. Their new Echelon pistol has a modular fire control group and a nifty universal mounting solution which will accommodate virtually any micro red dot.
New for 2023 is the Springfield Echelon. The striker-fired polymer frame pistol features Springfield's new variable interface system for mounting multiple optic footprints and the serialized cog fire control for inserting into multiple frames. Find out more at springfield-armory.com.
And by Vault Pro, proudly manufacturing the finest American-made safes, vault doors, safe rooms, and storm shelters. When you buy from Vault Pro, your safety, security, and privacy is their only priority. Vault Pro has never and will never release your information to another party. Click the Vault Pro link in the doobly-doo. And by Gunstock, a 2-day festival of peace and guns in Waxahachie, Texas, featuring the TNVC experience where you can get your hands on some of the coolest night vision devices and even put some rounds downrange in the dark. Registration is filling fast, so don't wait. Come hang out with me September 23rd and 24th and make some pews, eat some food, and enjoy some music. 2 Alabama first graders were suspended for pointing finger guns at each other while they were playing cops and robbers. What's worse is they received a Class 3 infraction for their school record. For context, if they had actually punched somebody in the face, they would have had a Class 2 infraction. Class 3 infractions are for bringing actual guns to school, selling drugs, arson, and bomb threats. After the father of one of the students lawyered up, the school reduced the infraction to a Class 2 infraction. But if you think that's still not enough and want to see this school back off entirely, you can reach the principal of Bagley Elementary at 205-379-2500. Hey, do you want to fight the military junta in Myanmar, but you can't afford to travel there? Well, now you can schwack tyrants in a mobile game, and the ad revenue will support freedom fighters in the real world. War of Heroes is a fairly standard top-down shooter available on Google Play and the Apple App Store, and to date has raised about $500,000 for the cause. Predictably, the government is big mad and threatened legal action against anyone caught playing the game. Except they can't touch you here in good old Freedom Land. They also can't stop us from acting as the R&D department for liberty all over the world. Some of the freedom fighters in Myanmar are armed with weapons made through additive processes developed and refined here in the US. I used to think about these things in terms of how they could be used to fight some hypothetical future tyrant here in my homeland, but now I realize the work being done here is paying liberty dividends right now in places like Myanmar. Californistan's speech suppression law just took a major hit in the Ninth Circuit. A lower court had denied an injunction against the law, allowing the state to ban any gun-related advertising which might somehow be perceived as attractive to minors. As you good folks know, minors can't buy guns anyway, but under this new law, even an advertisement aimed at adults, which featured a camouflage gun, could be considered illegal if, by some stretch of the imagination, some Ute might think it was cool. This latest ruling issued an injunction against the law and remanded the case to lower courts to decide. While nothing is certain, this ruling signals the law has very little chance of surviving. Not to be outdone, the city of Flagstaff, Arizona just banned Timberline Firearms and Training from advertising at the Flagstaff airport after advertising there for years, claiming the ad depicted violence. But when the owner tried to appeal the decision, he found out the city doesn't actually have an appeal process. Something redress of government for grievances, anybody? I mean, how much do these people hate the Constitution? It gets even worse though. Now the City Council is trying to amend the advertising policy to explicitly ban anything even remotely related to firearms. Not only does this represent a blatant violation of the First Amendment, it also flies in the face of numerous Arizona laws. If you find this suppression of speech as shameful as I do, you should call 928-213-2015 and tell the mayor and the city council what they are doing is unlawful and reprehensible. The gun control bill passed last year with Republican support gave enormous and unprecedented regulatory power to the ATF.
The AFT.
The AFT was already accustomed to simply making laws up as they go, but now they have the legal authority to arbitrarily define who is a gun dealer, and they can change their definition on a whim. Under the new rule published by F-Troop, anyone who makes a profit on any gun sale is now a dealer and must have a federal firearms license, even if you only sold a few guns, and even if the only profit you made was a result of inflation. Under the 1968 Gun Control Act, occasional sales to improve your personal collection should not make you a dealer, but the AFT is even trying to define a personal collection as personal firearms that a person accumulates for study, comparison, exhibition, or a hobby. Nowhere in that definition is defense of self or others included. But defense is the primary reason people own firearms. Yet, so far as the AFT is concerned, that's not a valid reason. If you want to speak out against this latest infringement, please follow the link down there in the doobly-doo and leave a comment on the proposed rule. And now, for your moment of Zen. Hey friends, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Do you want to help us keep delivering you pure, uncut American pew-paganda at the low, low price of free fitty? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.